welcome to Reflections. If you're into motorsport, track cars and engineering, then this is for you. Soapbox Racing, talk to me. Well, I saw this video of the San Fernando Valley Illegal Soapbox Federation online, and I just thought it was fantastic. They were just flying down these hills, crashing, there was wheels flying off everywhere, and I thought that needs to be done. So I woke up one morning, I went straight around Mark's house and I said, Mark, we are going to build a soapbox racer.
I to be fair, oh, there you go. Hey.
But yeah, you'd see just there, you'd see like random wheels flying down. Well, I'm not going to say tracks, it wasn't tracks, just a road. Isn't San Fernando really popular for its porn industry? Isn't that right? I'm sure I've read that before. Really popular for porn, soapbox racing, legal soapbox racing.
It's Jason Plato and Matt Neal's touring car style all over again.
That's not even a proper brake, it's just a friction brake, isn't it?
I like how he put his hand out. Dunk. Yeah, it's absolute carnage. None of them are left standing here.
That helmet rolling on the floor, look.
Hopefully there's no head in it.
How can he be nearly headless?
You can see why I wanted in on this.
Yeah, it's great.
Admittedly, we never went to this extent. Has this guy got any teeth left?
Probably not.
What did we build?
We bought a step ladder.
Yeah, we went down Wicks, didn't we? We went out and bought an alloy step ladder.
Where did that idea come from? Did it just...
I thought that it looks quite like a chassis. Which it did, like when you fold it all down, it does look like a chassis. The problem with a step ladder is it is very strong. It can take someone's weight, but it's only designed to take someone's weight in that direction, not the sitting down direction.
Yeah. Although it did work well as a frame.
Well, it did bend. We had to reinforce it somewhat.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So Mark, talk to us about what's going on here. So we've got some big springs here. What did they come from?
Washing machine, was it?
Yeah, your old washing machine.
My old washing machine.
So the idea with that,
Yeah.
we was finding that you get really bad speed wobble. So once you really got some sort of over 30 mile an hour, it was so hard to keep the car in a straight line. So by putting these springs in, it kept the steering. It was always trying to put the steering wheel back to dead centre. This strut brace here was actually a mistake, if you remember rightly. That is it. It's there in that very colour.
Yeah.
That was actually a mistake, wasn't it? It was meant to go perfectly between there and there, but somehow we got measurements wrong, and then you decided just to bend it to see if it would fit, and it did. Not only did it fit, but it meant that that point there became a perfect...
It stabilised it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Where's the spoiler from the Peugeot Speedfighter?
Do we have that later?
That comes later.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, before we get to that, so yeah, we decided that we'd test it on a number of roads, and initial testing, we probably didn't realise how fast it was going to go, so there was just no safety whatsoever. So you can see me flying down the hill as a blur.
Where was that? I can't remember. That was well out of the way, wasn't it?
Out the back of, carried on past the hot farm and all of that, and you went off left somewhere down some lanes.
Was it like Gowder's way or
Yeah.
something?
But this one, I only got 3 wheels on the ground in that shot.
Oh yeah. Stiff chassis.
Yeah.
Touring car style.
Ah, there's your spoiler, Gaz. That little front diffuser, if you like, was off of Gaz's old moped.
It was a good old Speedfighter.
Was it Speedfighter
Yeah.
2100?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was the rear, that was on behind the seat, wasn't
It certainly was.
it? Yeah.
But it definitely made a good front spoiler.
They were the tyres, I think, we found on that fly tip, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, they weren't found on the fly tip. Well, they were found on the fly tip, but they were found around the corner on the country lane.
There's my old action camera as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing, that video quality is terrible.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Have we still got the steering wheel?
That ended up on...
I've got the steering wheel in
That
my
steering
garage.
wheel went through, I think, every single soapbox we built at some point.
I've got two.
Apart from Graviton.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them. Yeah, because Graviton was the handlebars, wasn't it? It made out a bit of metal conduit. That was quite clever, I thought, with the link bar. What would you call that? Steering linkage. It was like an afterthought. The whole steering actually was an afterthought.
It looks a little bit like something you'd have on a remote control car.
Yeah, basically.
I'm pretty sure we used some bits off a mini motor or something, mini quad or what?
Yes, on one of them, yeah, on Graviton.
Graviton's front wheels were from the mini quad.
So anyway, we built it. We had places to test it, but we didn't have anywhere to race it. And just by chance, we went to the kit car show at Detlin, and got talking to a chap there who had a soapbox with him. What was his name?
John Nash.
John Nash.
Yeah.
And he was actually advertising the Aldington Soapbox Derby, and we got talking. Obviously, told him what we'd built. So it was good. It was for a local cause. It was all raising money for a local hospice. So in went our application form, and then that very year we was at the top of the hill, ready to race down it. I think that's quite key. That our first soapbox race, we ended up being videoed for Meridian News
For about 2 seconds.
Doesn't matter. That's my head.
What was this hill called?
Nepicar Lane.
Nepicar Lane.
Also launched rockets from that very field.
There he goes. Yeah, we used to sit at the top and bottom, didn't we, with radio, two-way walkie-talkies to say if it was clear or not.
This is when you had your red Corsa.
It was, yeah. Crikey, yeah. I mean, when was 2009? It was 14 years ago.
Toe roping it back to the top of the hill.
That's it, I remember that now, yeah.
I've forgotten that.
Toe rope.
Yeah, it went really well, didn't it? But you did have, because of that solid rear axle, when you turn a vehicle, the inside wheel needs to move at a slower pace than the outside wheel, so it would scrub and
we were losing
take off a bit of speed.
Every time you steered, yeah.
So on the actual hill at Aldington, you tried to keep it as straight as you could, really. That's not to scrub off any unnecessary.
Yeah, so later on we cut the axle in half, didn't we, and bought some bearings to separate the rear axles. I look very young there. Scary.
Well, we all did.
Did we build any other soapbox races? How many did we build? Steps to Success.
Yep.
Steps to Success Mark II.
Yep.
Little Green Base Machine.
Yep.
Graviton.
Yep.
Stealth.
Yep.
5.
Yep. Man, look at the Tesco bag.
Yeah.
Old school.
This is our life back then, just take away everything. We decided that we wanted to build another soapbox racer, and rather than cutting up the old one, we decided we'd run 2, so we could literally race each other down the hills. So we kind of separated, didn't we, into 2 teams. It was myself and Misa, and then you and Gaz. So me and Misa running Steps to Success, and you and Gaz running Graviton. So Graviton was a wooden chassis. Anything you can tell us about it, Mark?
The wood was actually provided by Gareth's mum. I think it was an old shed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just decided to make a chassis out of the wood. And
the seat, I do remember in the packing shed that we used to use, that big warehouse where we had the, or workshop if you like, where we had the race car. There was a load of old school chairs there, wasn't there? So we kind of borrowed one, chopped it in half, made it reclined, and that was our seat.
Yeah.
God bless the packing shed.
So that was the front chassis from the mini quad, like cut off and mounted to the wooden frame. And then we used a bit of metal conduit, galvanised conduit as handlebars on the mini quad's steering column.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you extended the column.
Extended the column with more conduit.
Was conduit strong enough for this task?
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah. And then I jerry-rigged some push bike disc brakes onto the go-kart aluminium
Were they off the quad? Because when the quad?
The discs. No, the discs were.
I'm pretty
It
sure.
might have been from the quad actually.
I
Yeah.
thought they were off the quad on the rear axle.
But yeah, if I had the tools today, that would have been done a lot better than what
Yeah,
I did there. 'Cause
look at that welding.
that's a bit of a mess. That is. The welding's okay. That's actually 2 bits of box section. Sorry, not box section. Angle iron welded together with a bit of a steel shaft in the middle to make the axles. Because that's the best way I found to mount it at the time. But yeah, that's basically. Oh yeah, and the that cable there is from my brake. No, what was it from? It was from my Gilera Runner.
Back to the moped situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gilera Runner had my scooter, 50cc scooter, ran a rear drum. And it was cable operated, so the lever and cable were from my Gilera Runner 50.
There's a bit of a theme with motorbike parts.
Yeah.
I can think of 3 soapbox racers which incorporate them somehow.
And then you got the mechanical disc brake calipers that I put into a joining block on the Gilera runner cable, brake
Yeah.
cable. It didn't work that well, but it was good enough to get through scrutineering. So
And like Steps to Success, it was rear brake only, nothing at the front.
Rear
Just
brake
front
only,
was
yeah.
solely for steering.
yeah, and I
Too
put,
much weight.
I put a strut brace on the front as well to stop the front from
Dang.
warping.
So, we primed it in white, and then the next stage was to come up with a design for a paint job. So we come up with this. We didn't stick with that. We would always come up with various designs, and we ultimately ended up with black and green. A little bit monster stuff, actually, wasn't
I think it was, yeah.
it? Yeah. And there
To
we
be
go.
fair, it ended up like that. We just went with the flow, and that's what
Mm.
happened, didn't it? So
Yeah, I think the green and orange wheels was kind of Misa getting a bit over happy with.
Yeah, I think we gave Misa a
It
paint.
kind of worked. So it was alright. It worked. And there we are. So Steps to Success. We upgraded a little bit. We put a stereo on it, so it had speakers at the back.
Sprayed my spoiler.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Dartford Collins stickers everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, you got my silly little camera on the side.
push bar because we needed a good way to push it, didn't we?
Wasn't a very good push bar.
No. Don't think we ever actually had a good push bar anyway. And there we are, racing down the hill. Oh yeah, that was the year that, in fact, the number of years they helped, didn't they? Chris and Brad
That's it.
joined our teams to help with pushing.
Well, this
and
was the year with,
transportation.
with Paul, wasn't it, if I remember rightly, the Graviton and that. I think that was the year with Paul.
Paul.
O'Grady.
Yes, it
Paul
was.
O'Grady.
Yeah, because it was
yeah.
with Chris and all that lot.
That is
Yeah.
There you go, Gareth.
Yeah, Mrs. in the background. Captain
I
Slow.
didn't have an action camera back then, so I used my little compact still camera on video mode.
Captain Slow.
Captain Slow.
There he is.
There we go.
There he is.
God bless his soul.
Now, I would like just to point out that I did not rush up to Paul O'Grady and tell him that I watch his show every night after work with my mummy. I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
That was severely exaggerated.
Yes, you did. What was the speed comparison between Graviton and Steps to Success?
Dunno.
Quite different.
It was-
Graviton was
yeah,
fast.
Probably because Graviton weighed a lot more.
Yeah, but I found with Graviton, like you two seem to drive it fine, but where you had that
Handlebar.
you did it like that, didn't you? It was really weird. You did it
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and you're laying completely flat, so you can't even see where you're going.
That was
Great
the
for
whole,
speed,
that was the whole idea.
but I found it so twitchy. What you needed was a set of washing machine springs, I reckon.
I did, yeah.
No, what you needed is just to hold your arm, lock your arms.
Yeah.
I needed to change the steering geometry, that's what I should have done. Which is what we should have done with Graviton, but not Graviton, Steps to Success. But
So I felt that Steps to Success had kind of had its day. We'd obviously changed the style a bit and put stereo on it, but it's still very much the original car. So I came up with this idea of kind of making a bit of a boy racery looking car. So we always do little sketches of what we're going to build before we're going to build it. So this was kind of the idea. And Mark had this great idea of obviously separating that rear axle because of the scrub that it was given us. So this was Mark's original drawing.
I completely forgot I had a whiteboard in my garage.
They used to use that a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that light switch turned blue eventually, someone painted it. I'm not going to
Okay.
tell you who did it.
So there you
Here
are.
I am.
Building
That's
it.
probably before I burnt a hole in my shirt.
Yeah, pretty
I mean,
set the garage in like that day as well, because that
Several
used to
times,
happen a
yeah.
lot.
I think Mark's still got that T-shirt.
I do actually. I don't wear it anymore though. It's like,
So you can see actually over there that the rear axle's already made up.
that's
ready
it.
to go
With
in.
the bearings
There
on
they
it.
are.
I'm pretty sure we got the bearings from Kent Bearings. So
Do you remember where we got the rear axle originally?
Was it the karting shop at
Sittingbourne.
Sittingbourne
Yeah.
Kart Track? Yeah. That's
Oh,
They
you
were,
would.
they were quite kind to us. They we wanted to go and buy an axle. They were really expensive. And they asked what it was for, and we said a soapbox, and that we didn't need the full length. And he was like, "Oh, I've got a bent axle. It might be just right for what you need." So yeah, we got donated that axle for our soapbox racer. Very kind of them. Project One Racing.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Project
Yeah.
One. Yeah. And there is the complete axle unit.
You can tell that box section we got from B&Q.
what was that? Is it rusty?
It's got that seam down it. You can always tell that it's
Cheap.
cheap. Yeah.
Rusty.
Do you remember the brakes that we fitted to it as well? Those little hydraulic
Yeah.
disc brakes.
You
from
bought
bike.
some brand new hydraulic
Yeah.
brakes. Yeah.
I want to say I got them for quite a good price, but these days, mega expensive hydraulics for bikes.
They stopped.
And instead of buying matching hubs for the brake discs, we just used what we had.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think we had that one.
Overcoming the
that
depths.
one.
That's it. You bought that one there.
Here we go back to a bit of motorbike there. So the front.
No, it wasn't the front. That's the
from my
Gilera.
Yeah.
That's the Corsa.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
So we've got an upside down front panel of a Gilera runner, very badly filled in. That was my working. And then Corsa B
Top.
MFD display.
Right, yeah,
turned
that was
it to make it look like a Subaru and perhaps a rare air scoop.
Is that from that Corsa you had?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Brad's one? I remember I painted all the interior. We shut the roof off and then he scrapped it, so I kept the interior.
Oh, was that his?
It could have been, but also I had a green GSI. Well, GSI looking like
Yeah,
it.
that's Brad's.
GSI.
And then painted. Starting to look quite good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the gear knob. Yeah.
Good up.
That got used a few times, didn't it?
It wasn't a gear knob though, was it?
No, it's brake
It
lever.
was a brake.
And then we reached out to Maidstone Signs, who stickered up the track car Armando and got them to do all of the sign writing for it.
Yeah, the proper seat in that one as well. Like my bodge job in the Meriton.
Yeah. So yeah, we can see in there that we've got two 6x9s in the front, so two 6x9 speakers, and then two round speakers in the back.
Before that. Have you got new hands on driving as well?
So yeah, it was quite loud at the very top of the hill. I was playing the Spice Girls Wannabe remix, I seem to remember. Graviton got a new paint job.
Oh, it looks so clean.
Look at that.
That's before we put the orange on it. I think we messed up.
It's Wacky Racers font, wasn't it? We used, we stenciled.
Yeah, you just stuck pencils
Ah.
on and sprayed around.
Whatever did come of this?
No, that was the year that a company in London, a film company in London, Ad Hoc Films, wanted to do a documentary on the Aldington Soapbox Derby, and we was picked as one of the teams they wanted to come and interview. So they came round to the garage and they had a look at the soapboxes, got us to do. Remember, we had to pretend we was working on them when they filmed us and whatever, and then they attached cameras to our car, or to the soapboxes on the event, didn't they? But nothing ever seemed to come of it. I asked them for the footage, never got it, so that was a real kick in the teeth really, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
it meant that we then didn't have footage of that race because, yeah, we was reliant on their cameras.
Yeah.
Hey ho, such is life.
No.
Oh yes, we should see the Tesco van now. There's the big
Hey,
Tesco
there
van
it
we
is.
borrowed. Oh look, our Astra's there. Was it yours or Mark's then? I can't remember.
It might have been Mark's early on.
I do miss that car.
Mark with his creations.
You can tell it's garage legs.
Yeah, 3/4 lengths.
3/4 legs.
Nothing's changed.
Have you noticed though, in many pictures where we're all together as a four, I'm the one standing on my own.
That's up at the
Oh
hill.
wow, so we didn't add the orange till later then?
No, the orange was earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, orange.
Oh no, yeah, maybe. What was the previous paint job we showed? Can't remember now.
It was the one with the orange.
Orange.
Yeah, so the orange was earlier, then we sprayed it all.
Yeah,
like
this
that.
was
That
after.
was
Yeah.
the later colour. Yeah.
Okay, oh fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine, I can't remember these things.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wheelbase, is it? Yeah. The width between the front wheels and the rear wheels on the Graviton. That probably
I think
didn't
it was
help
both,
the steering,
really, isn't
actually. Probably didn't help the steering situation being that wide.
I like the push stickers on the back.
Yeah, that was quite good. I just saw them in the, I think that was at
Yeah,
B&Q.
B&Q, yeah, couple of
That'll
quid.
do. Hey.
Sam.
Why was she doing that?
I think she was moving.
Something came.
Oh, didn't you put a load of sandbags in the front of it to weigh it down?
We
think
put
so,
something.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
put something in the front of it, and the only person that was small enough to get in there was Sam.
3, 2, 1, go!
In fact, actually, when a lot of people talk to me about Soapbox Racing, they always say, "Oh, do you still do the Red Bull thing?" And I was like, no, it's not Red Bull, it's Aldington we did. But we did do an entry for Red Bull once. I even posted it off, didn't I? And we was going to build Mr. Bean's Mini. And it was going to be a 2-person cart, because in Red Bull you could do 2 people. One underneath, and their head would actually be looking out of the sofa. And then the other one on the top. So the one at the bottom would actually be the driver in this case, and the one on the top would be pretending. I wanted to have like Whistler's mother in the back window and everything. It would have been brilliant. But yeah, there'd been a thing with Aldington, and I think there was an uncertainty of whether it was going to run this particular year. And then kind of last minute it was, and we ditched this idea and had to then suddenly put something together for Aldington. And we went away from running 2 soapboxes. We decided to combine, didn't we? And we actually took the best bits from both and came up with this new idea. And ultimately we came up with this, which was meant to be based on a stealth fighter. Is it stealth fighter or a stealth? I can't remember.
Bomber, isn't it?
Is it a bomber? Yeah. Yeah, we really liked that design and felt that it could work as a cart. Those kind of straight lines and yeah, sort of triangular shapes. So,
Again,
Mark's
garage.
Yeah.
Probably set his garage alight. Yeah.
Again.
Oh, replenishing you with
Yeah.
refreshments.
Okay, so we've got the rear axle from Little Green Base Machine. We've added some push bike suspension to it. So we've actually got not independent, but some suspension at the back of the vehicle. And then a frame obviously being built up there.
Yeah, it's a completely new frame. All
Ah.
metal.
There's that steering wheel again.
Hang on a minute. Was this the year that you had to take a trip to the hospital?
No, because my go-kart project was.
But my head still looks intact though.
Correct. It was on the kart chassis, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the kart chassis when you were pushing. See that the steering wheel mount there? That is legs from an old school chair. You see the bend, because we needed something with a bend in it, because I didn't have the means to bend metal. So yeah, the chair legs worked well. Yeah, I based that chassis on a Lotus 7 design, so it tapers at the front.
Do you know what I always used to think was funny when we was building? But actually, it was stealth. I remember one of them. Your neighbour, Gaz's boss Dan, his daughter Hannah. How old would Hannah have been at the time?
Oh God.
Like.
But she'd
She'd have been quite young, so
she used to come over and we'd be in the garage all covering our eyes as Mark was welding. We'd turn around and we realised that Hannah was standing there just looking at you welding. She's pretty blind, poor girl.
Was that when we built Stealth? When
Yeah.
did we build Stealth? 2013.
that's 10 years ago. Jesus, yeah. The caddy, making sure it fitted in.
So doing a test run down there, back at Nepicole Lane again.
Oh, that's the secondary frame for the body panels to mount on.
Was
That was made out of an.
Was it from a gazebo?
That was a
Yeah.
gazebo.
Which was perfect because it was so light, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So you had the really sturdy inner frame and then the outer frame, which was just really lightweight but good enough for body panelling.
Guess who gave you those?
Gaz's mum.
Gareth's mum. So your mum's helped out a lot with our
Yeah.
soapbox project. Look.
Ugh. Oh, look, one there ends.
Hey!
Track
A bit
vehicle.
of primitive soapbox there. And then body paneling it up. So what wood did we use
That
for
was
that?
MDF.
Okay, it's like really thin MDF, wasn't it? I seem to remember.
But if
The same stuff that was used on the Graviton.
Didn't buy that from B&Q, did we?
yeah,
Oh my God, we must have spent a fortune on all this.
Might have been home based.
was it bit or was it Wix's?
God. You go and buy a sheet like that and it's only 30 quid down. You know?
Oh, these days, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh yes, probably the first actual piece of carbon fibre we'd had in a vehicle, a little carbon fibre dash that we put together. I wanted it to have something a bit technical in it, to be a bit like an actual stealth fighter, I suppose. Not that that's anywhere near a stealth fighter, but it's getting there. Pin-up girl sort of theme. RAF as well, yeah. Can see actually our old thermoformer in the background there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Did it melt in the end?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we put an under tray on the bottom
A
of it.
plastic floor.
Do you remember what they were from?
Were they from a filing cabinet or something?
No, it was one of those e-copies from a photocopier, wasn't it? They were like sides of it, I seem to remember. It was like this really thin, flexible plastic sheet. So we cut it up to make a aerodynamic floor.
And mounted it with cable ties.
Yeah, light. Works.
But yeah,
That's good engineering.
That's it. The kick plate was an old petrol scooter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the brakes were just the two handles from the push brake. What's that mean?
That's right, because they were the handbrakes, weren't they? But we inverted them. So they use as foot
And
brakes.
you put an actual pedal on it in the end, didn't you? So it looked quite neat.
Well, I drilled a hole in both of them to mount them to something, but then they just snapped off because they were really brittle, thin aluminium.
Aluminum.
Aluminium. Get it right.
There we
Oh yeah, the ammo box.
Yeah, thought that went in with the RAF theme to an extent. Oh, dashboard all lit up.
You checked all Cedo cars.
I can't remember what it went. I think it did go pretty well, I seem to remember, didn't it? I don't think it was graviton fast, but it was pretty quick.
I think it was quicker.
Again, that rear axle would have slowed us down.
What, because of the inbound brakes? Maybe that.
It's just the mass of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because you've got
Yeah.
that amount of axle
Yeah.
to get to the inbound brake. Kick it up, sleeves and everything.
See, what you need is you like you had on the Graviton, a sort of fixed shaft, and then the bearings are actually in the wheel. That would have been better.
Yeah,
But then
see?
you'd need to put the brakes on the wheels.
See, that was reasonably quick.
Yeah, but that wasn't graviton fast. I'm sure graviton used to get like
36. I was
40s
reading
or something.
36. It's finished earlier. But it was one of them was 36 something.
what, in graviton? Okay, so maybe it wasn't as different as I thought. Okay. Hey, there's Mark.
See, I think I'm the only one that doesn't go down with a race suit.
We probably look a bit over the top in those, to be fair, but
Yeah.
more for crowd pleasing, really.
I think it was more just in case we fell out. It was the unknown.
Hey!
Third place trophy.
No.
Our first
We got
trophy.
third place. Got third place.
It was our first ever trophy.
It was.
First and only.
Where is the trophy, Mark?
It's at my house
Where's
Look at
Mark's house?
in Ireland. Sitting on top of my speaker, actually, with a stress ball sitting in the side of it.
Third place.
Yeah, I don't know where the plaque's gone though. The plaque disappeared.
What?
Yeah, I think I know where it is. I've just got to stick it back on.
Oh yes, that year we ended up in Folkestone Herald. Stuff is in the newspaper or just the online edition, but yeah, it was in that.
Kent Online was the same as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used to get in that. And this was, I believe, the last year of Aldington, wasn't it?
It was a very wet one as well.
Not as wet as the first scrutineering day for Graviton. Do you remember that? We were literally hiding under a tree with Graviton because it was so wet.
Yeah, the problem with Aldington was it got too popular, didn't it? And
It did in the
got
end, and
just
it's.
packed. Yeah. Wasn't there an incident once? Did someone do something silly? Like
I
this-
think someone come
I
out
wanna
on the
say
circuit or something,
they were
but
sitting on the front of the hay bales and got a leg clipped or something. Yeah.
still got the crash helmet.
Yeah. And yeah, ultimately that ended it, didn't it? Really, Aldington.
It wasn't just that though, was it? It was there wasn't enough volunteers.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, so I can show that a bit better. More recently, we were asked to provide some information for Kent Messenger, a local newspaper for Kent, and they wanted to write an article on the Soapbox Derbies of days gone. So yeah, we provided a load of information to them, and they wrote this really nice article, and we got quite a write up in there from them.
What are our future plans?
So would we ever make another one?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I mean, if they brought Aldington back again,
I would like to do Mr. Bensman.
the thing is, someone's already done that now for Red Bull.
Oh no, that's the.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Someone pinched my idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they did pretty damn well.
Oh.
Beep. What's that? Multiple holes for mounting control arms.
So, you know, I'm not saying that we would ever build one, but it's just that there's ideas on the table.
Yeah. I'd like to use some BMX wheels, like they use in the
Yeah, it's.
speed records.
Where was we the other day?
Where were
Oh,
we?
where were we? We were at Closed Calf. No,
Where was
where-
I?
where it all began.
Yeah, we just happened to be sitting outside the very hill. Reminiscing, wasn't we?
Blimey.
And we had 3 very fast cars sitting outside there.
900 horsepower sitting right there.
I can see Gareth.
Where?
How did you drive your AAA and your Astra there? That's Lewis's AAA. Yeah, that's the right photo.
Going back to the future plan sort of thing, I think right now, unless
we've got to
a
see
really
that.
great idea came up, me and Darren are currently building track cars currently right now, so
Don't have the packing shed anymore, so we wouldn't have. It's not like we've got enough room to keep all of these things. So yeah, maybe one day we'll get track cars and move.
God bless the packing shed.
If Aldington did come back and say, "Oh, we're running next year," then I would put the effort in to try and build one.
Oh yeah, I think
Bit difficult when you're in Ireland potentially.
Well, I could
Put it on your
I
roof.
could always build the frame, do the welding in Ireland, and then we could ship it over to. Well, I could drive it over on the ferry, and then we could just finish it later.